Hello there, Virgo. Welcome to my channel. I really appreciate that you're here. I'm Mary Sue, and today I'll be doing your June 2021 general reading. So in this reading, I'm going to take a look at your overall energies for the month, and then we'll use the tarot to get some more details about situations that may occur this month. And since this is a general reading, if the reading's not resonating with you, check out your moon, rising, or Venus sign because there might be a message there for you. And if you're enjoying the content that I create, or if this message is resonating with you, I'd really appreciate it if you would like, share, subscribe. It really does help to build my channel and get my message of light and love out to the world. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into your reading. These readings have been very long this week. So to save time, I pre-shuffled your oracle cards, but I haven't taken a look at them. So let's see what we have for your animal spirit. Oh, nice. So we have the deer energy. This is a lovely energy, especially it's spring. This is the energy of the awe that parents have when they have a child come into their life. So this could be your energy, or perhaps, somebody around you, but it doesn't mean that you have to have a child. It can be the birthing of anything new. So it's kind of like the Empress energy. It's the birthing of, a child. It could be a birthing of a new relationship. It could be birthing a new career, a new job, a new home. So it's the birthing of something new, and that special kind of awe that new parents have, that just, if you've ever seen, a brand new born baby, everybody always is looking at the feet, right? The toes, they're so cute. And then as we become adults, we're like, oh, those things are just like big and stinky and, but as infants, right, everybody's always like, oh my goodness, the toes, look at how cute the toes are, and the little cherub lips and everything. And it's just this total awe for this new being. Well, it's that same kind of energy that you are going to have this month in something new in your life. And it could be something new that you don't know is on your path, or it could be an energy of something new that you've just started. So let's see what your lunar nomad energy is. Okay, so this is house. It's also the number 4, and the number 4 talks about building strong foundations. So with the deer energy, if you are starting a new relationship, a new job, building a new house, or moving into a new house or a new city or something, it's building that strong foundation, taking the time to make sure that, you're taking the steps so that once you get it up and running, things are not going to fall apart really fast. The house energy, and I think it's kind of interesting because the deer has a lot of family energy to it. Even, if you're not in a long-term commitment, a lot of your own family. So, your parents, your siblings, extended family, children, if you have children, that type of energy. And the house is somewhat of that same thing. So during the month of June, we have some, eclipses, we have some retrogrades going on. And so sometimes things from the past about your family may turn up at these times. And what you're doing is you're taking a look at your own house, or the house that you grew up in, or the situation. But it's not just the house. We'll come back to that. It's the family dynamics of your home. And it could be of your home right now, or it could be the home that you grew up in. And it could also be the home of, someone that's close to you. Okay, so, maybe you look at your past, your upbringing, and you're kind of like, yeah, everything was great, but maybe you're with a significant other that didn't have that same situation. So there's something about looking back at your childhood and looking at the home that you grew up in. Okay, so now let's talk about the house. There is a significant correlation to the upkeep, the maintenance of your house, and the upkeep and maintenance of you as a spiritual being, as a, entity here in whatever capacity that, you want to think about as an individual. Now, when you were a child and you were growing up, you didn't really have control over whether the house was well maintained, kept clean, that type of thing. But you may have taken some of that baggage along with you into your adult life. So, this channel is for 18 and older. So let's talk about you as an adult now. So you own either a house, or you're renting a house, or you're renting an apartment. You have a place that you're living. And maybe for some of you, you still are living with your parents. But one of the things that you can do to try to figure out like which part of your life you maybe need some personal growth in is just to take a look at your physical house. Okay, so first of all, if the whole house is a mess, right, and needs a lot of maintenance work, and there's clutter everywhere, that would kind of signify that you have probably a lot of clutter in your relationships or in your life in general, and perhaps especially with family members. Okay. The other thing is that you can take a look at specific rooms, okay? Like, maybe most of the house, and it does not have to be super clean. I'm just talking about, there's just not clutter everywhere, that type of energy. Because the more clutter we have, the more energy is zapped from us. That's why people, that hoard or have a lot of possessions, a lot of time their energy is all sucked up by these possessions, and then they don't have energy for other things in their life. But say most of your house is in pretty good shape, right? Except the kitchen. And I could totally relate to that. So maybe you're one of those people, you just stack the dishes in the sink, right? Or you open the cupboards and there's no food. So that would mean that maybe in your personal growth, you may want to take a look at your nutritional diet, because the foods that we feed ourselves give us the energy to live our life. So if you go to the cupboards and there's nothing there, and then you hop in the car and you go buy some fast food or something, right? And, that's an indication that you're really not taking care of yourself, your physical being self. And then, to ask yourself, well, why am I doing that? There's some self-love situation that I may need to deal with. How about the bathroom, right? Like maybe the rest of your house is great and your cupboards are full of food and your dishes are, put away and all of that stuff. But you walk into the bathroom and it looks like a bomb has gone off in it. Well, that may be an indication, right, that all that clutter that's in your bathroom is kind of a resistance to taking a look at your physical appearance in some way, or maybe, health-wise, like, you're just trying to resist taking a look at that. And, the same thing like with your bedroom. Maybe your bathroom's clean, your kitchen's clean, but your bedroom is a mess. That may be an indication that you're having difficulty with intimate relationships. So it's just something to take a look at, right? And there's some resources online and stuff to take a look at that. But it is something that you may be kind of like having this inkling about. Like, the other thing is the overall, when you're looking for housing, right? Are you just finding something functional? Right? You're just looking at the commute, or you're just looking at, does it have 2 bedrooms and a bath? Or does it have, this one thing that you want in your house? Instead of taking a look at the emotional attachment that you have with your house, because our houses do reflect us. And so if you walk into your house at night and it's just functional, are you just living a functional life? Are you going to work, coming back? You don't have any other joy in your life. Or is your home a reflection of the other joy that you have in your life? And do you have people coming over to your house? Are you sharing your home with others? Because that means you're sharing yourself and your life with others. So it's just something to take a look at, and also the house represents our family ties. During the month of June, you may be taking a look at, especially your childhood family dynamics, right? And, recognizing that sometimes the home that we grew up in, we carry those habits into our adult life, but we don't really have to. My mother was a nurse, so our home was like sterile. There wasn't a crumb on the counter ever. But that's exactly a little bit about how, our family dynamics were too. It wasn't very nurturing, right? We didn't have like a lot of house plants or, extra throw pillows. It was all kind of like a hospital. And so it's just kind of taking a look at that and recognizing maybe some of those patterns or relationships that you can see with your house, your home, and yourself as a person. Really interesting. And I don't know why I went so deep with that. And my guides were, I don't usually spend that much time on it. Okay, yes, just say yes. So this is Work Your Light Oracle cards. Whatever is coming your way, there's something definitely on your path, either a new relationship, a new home, a new city, or a new job. It's about saying yes, but I'm getting the message. It's also about saying yes to yourself. Like when you're looking at your home and recognizing, okay, maybe I never make my bed because, whatever that means, right? Maybe if you're single, like, if I keep my bedroom a mess, I'll never want to invite anybody over, that type of energy, right? So you're keeping arm's length to intimate relationships, okay? And you can read it as you want to, but the other thing is that you spend probably 8 hours a day in your bedroom. Like if you go to bed at night and your bedroom is a mess and cluttered, that is going to reflect in the quality of sleep that you get. So it's something to take a look at and to say yes. And you're doing it not because you should do it. You're cleaning up the kitchen or the bathroom or the bedroom or whatever it is. You're saying yes, but you're saying yes to you. You're recognizing the patterns that I think a lot of you maybe grew up with and saying, that was in the past. I really didn't have a lot of control over the house that I grew up in, but now I can. And I'm saying yes to me. And I'm saying yes to, loving me, because our house is a reflection of us. To the sea. Some of you might actually be moving to the sea, right? Or visiting the sea. But this is kind of another thing about, kind of going with the flow and recognizing like this isn't, this is maybe a little bit of a card of action, but these two really aren't. It's kind of more of a reflective type of energy, just being aware of what's around you. And to the sea is very much that energy too. To the sea, she's in the ocean, she's in a bathtub, but she's floating on top of the ocean. And the ocean represents our emotions. So you may be sitting on top of some emotions that have to do with, your childhood family dynamics or the family dynamics you're dealing with now. And it could be even from past lives or, ancestral type thing, patterns passed down or something. And these are bringing up with, the retrogrades and the eclipses. These are possibly, there's some emotions kind of coming to light. And, you know, they're really pointing out, take a look at where you're living. Okay? Start there, because it's something visual that you can see, and then try to figure out, how does that reflect on me? Okay? And it's not like we're talking about, like, you know, if your kitchen's messy one day, but generally your kitchen is great, right? Don't take it that way. It's not like your house has to be highly decorated. Actually, probably less decorated, right? But the decorations you have, do they reflect you, or do they reflect maybe people that were in your family? You know, you may have things hanging up in your house that you actually had, you know, inherited from your family or from your parents. You know, your parents may have been like, oh, I'm gonna toss this out, you know, do you want it? And then you took it, you know, or whatever, and it's in your home. But is it a reflection of you? Now, if it's something that you love, definitely keep it. But yeah, it's something to take a look at, you know. Okay, so that they're also saying, you know, asking yourself, do you spend money on your house? Not overspend, but do you put, you know, what you can budget, what is comfortable for you financially? Do you put that into your house, or do you try to do this really thrifty? Because that's an indication of what you think you are worth. And it doesn't mean you have to live in a mansion, right? Not at all. But it's like, you know, are you financially putting into your home what you can, or are you just trying to skimp on it? Because then maybe, are you also trying to skimp on yourself? And why do you have those feelings? Okay, I think we're good there. We may come back to that in a minute. Okay, so we're going to move on to the tarot. They've asked me to also include an oracle card. I'm going to look at past and present energies, your obstacle for the month, advice from spirit, and then the final outcome. And you know the final outcome? You have free will, so you do not have to follow the advice of the cards. And once again, this is a general reading, so it may not resonate with you. Okay, so I'm going to do an oracle card. We'll talk about all those, and then I'll go back and clarify everything with tarot. Oh, nice. Okay, so your past energy is wish upon a star. You're trying to manifest something new in your life. And you know, there's a lot of newness energy with these two cards, right? So some of you may be on a new path, a new relationship, new job, new city, you know, new baby. It could be that. But you've been manifesting this, and this is coming into action for you. Really nice. Okay, so let's see what your present energy is. And I absolutely love this card. Look at how sweet that is. You know, she has her hands crossed over her heart. Her eyes are closed. It's like, oh, I really want this, right? So for some of you, you know, if you've been looking for a new home, there's like the dream home you've really wanted, or a dream job or something like that. You've been wishing very much so for something to come true. Feeling the world, okay? And yeah, so feeling the world, I think you're trying to manifest something into your life that is also going to help the world, okay, in some way. So for some of you, you know, you may be moving to a new city because, you know, you feel, you know, like you could help that city in some way, you know, or you're changing jobs because, you know, something that you were doing before wasn't satisfying your need in some way to help the world. There's something here where you're feeling the world, and look at, you know, it's kind of like she's looking down at the earth. This is a kind of a spiritual reading, because she's kind of looking down at the earth, and look at her face. She's very empathetic. Like you may be feeling, you know, some of the anguish or emotions of, certain groups or people in general. We've had the pandemic. It could have something to do with that. Like you're feeling it, and it's having you kind of look internally, right? And I think feeling the world is linked to the house. Like whatever it is, what they're saying is that whatever is in your home, that may be a reflection of how you can also help the world. By going deeper into this area of your own personal growth, you will also find a way to help the world. That's the message. So, for instance, say, your kitchen is a mess and you never have food in the house or whatever. And then you kind of start looking at that aspect of your life and you choose to grow personally in that area. So you start buying healthy food, you start cooking more for yourself, you keep the kitchen, picked up a little bit more. It's going to also enlighten you on how you can help others, either by becoming like a health coach or a nutritional advisor, or perhaps helping to feed the world, something like that. So really interesting, because I think that maybe for some of you, this isn't something you want to manifest physically. I think you're trying to manifest your purpose, like trying to figure out what it is that how you can help the world. And they're saying that this yes is kind of like you saying yes. Like you may have gotten a call, an intuitive call about trying to help the world, feeling this bond with others, like you may have had a spiritual awakening or an enlightenment. And you're kind of, okay, they're pointing back to the deer, like you want to mother the world, if that makes sense, okay? And that's not going to resonate for everybody. It definitely isn't. But for some of you, that will definitely resonate. Okay, so let's look at your obstacle. And we are going to come back and look at the tarot with these. Into me, I see. Okay, so yes. By looking at your house. That's why I had to spend so much time on the house. Okay, so by looking at your house, you can see into you. You may be even able to see into, childhood wounds or traumas, stuff like that. By looking at your house, you're going to get a reflection of how you can grow spiritually or personally. Really interesting. Okay, so this is your obstacle, and this is in your obstacle position. What you can't see yet is where you're going to go, and I think it's really interesting that they are really focusing on your house, like by looking at your house and your connection to your house. Are you getting, for some of you, if you're buying a new house, like, are you buying the house that you want, or are you listening to external factors? Are you looking at it too functionally? That's the word they're using, too functionally. Okay. There is something about how long your commute is, though. I live in a big city. It's like, that's the first thing everybody asks for. Well, wait a minute. How long is my commute? Okay, so let's look at the advice. The power of purpose. Oh, my God. Thank you. I am really, this is a lovely reading. I'm having a great connection with my guides. Through all of this, you are going to have some kind of enlightenment about your purpose. I did the Capricorn reading earlier, and they just kept saying North Node, North Node. I don't know why. I'm going to say, take a look at your North Node, okay? Because they're bringing that up in my mind. I usually can't remember readings once I do them. But look at your North Node, okay? And there's a lot of stuff on YouTube or on the internet. Take a look and see what your North Node is, because that's your soul's purpose here on Earth. And, I think it's so interesting. They're pointing to the world, and your North Node is part of looking at the world. So I am. I would love it. Put it in the comments. What is your North Node? What do you think your purpose is? What is the room you need to clean up? I'd really like to hear that. Okay, roots of abundance. Okay, so some of you may kind of have this wish to do something to help the world, right? But you're just worried you're not going to make enough money, right? And this is your spirit guides, your angels coming in and saying, no, this is going to help you build a strong foundation. Remember, the house is a strong foundation, represents that, to bring in this roots of abundance. And for some of you, I feel like you may be in a temporary situation where, this may be a little bit of a journey, but then you're going to have this true kind of awakening to how you can make money at something that also helps the world. And oh my goodness, Virgo, we really need that. We really do. Okay, so wish upon a star. We're going to go back and clarify these with the tarot. I don't know. I feel like this reading is kind of clear cut, but we're going to look at it. Okay, wish upon a star. Oh, interesting. I have two decks I'm clarifying with. Okay, so with wish upon a star, this is your past energy. You have the Eight of Swords, the Six of Swords, the Four of Swords. So, this is how they came out, and I'm going to take them this way. You have had some doubt that whatever you're trying to manifest, your purpose in life, or the house of your dreams, or something, I really think there's a lot of purposeness that you're trying to figure out. You may have even had an inkling about how you may want to help the world, but you had a lot of self-doubt. Will it bring in the money? Can I financially support myself if I do this? Can I even do this? Do I have the skills to do this? This is a lot of self-doubt. And you kind of been wishing upon a star, but you also have had a lot of doubt about whether it would ever come true or not. And this is you moving on from that self-doubt. The Six of Swords is moving into calmer waters. I think for a lot of you, you may have had some turbulent times previous to this past position. And you're moving into calmer waters. And as you move into the calmer waters, you're going to get more into this deer energy, because when we're in a lot of turmoil, we cannot think clearly. And so that's one of the things I would suggest, if you still feel like you're in a little bit of turmoil, is to spend time quieting your mind, whether that's meditation, spending time alone in nature. Okay, it's about spending time alone so that you can listen to your intuition and everything. And yeah, look at her. She's quieting her mind, right? She's listening to her intuition. It's like all these little twinkle fireflies are her spirit guides telling her the direction to go. And here it's kind of like, I don't know where I'm going, right? Even self-doubt, even you may not have even known what you were trying to wish for, like a lot of self-doubt. But here you're getting in the boat and you're going on, and yes, they're saying to the sea, like you're moving into these, look at the calm water here. Yeah, so with the to the sea, you're moving out of tumultuous water into calmer water. And my guides are also saying, that by looking at your house or the house that you grew up in, or, I really think it's your environment now because it really reflects you. It's going to help you to figure out why this self-doubt is here. For some of you, I think this is self-doubt left over from childhood, or self-doubt imposed upon you by family members that love you and maybe are even trying to protect you and saying, you can't do that. You can't do that. You won't make enough money, whatever, right? And planting doubt into your mind. But you're kind of, by looking and recognizing that that is their fears, not really your fears, you can get into this boat and start moving forward and move towards healing. So the Four of Swords is healing. It's also about rest and relaxing, rejuvenation, taking time out for you and recognizing that you deserve to have that time. When parents have a newborn baby, right? They don't leave the hospital and go straight on a trip or go straight to the grocery store or anything. What do? They go home and they spend like a week in the house just oohing and awing over the new baby and spending time together as a family and building those bonds. Well, that's kind of, a little bit of the energy that I'm getting here. And it is your past energy, so you may be moving out of that. For some of you, you may be still in that, but that's okay. Just recognizing that you do need some time so that you can listen to your intuition, listen to your heart, trying to figure out what your next step is and not worrying about it. Just saying yes. Like whenever an opportunity comes along your path, it's kind of like just say yes for right now. Okay. All right. So let's move on to feeling the world. What do we have here? Four of Cups. Okay, that's kind of the energy of ho-hum. I don't know. Like if you're looking for a new job or a new house, there's nothing that's kind of lighting you up. And it's because it's not totally aligned yet with your purpose. And the King of Pentacles. Yeah, so I think for some of you, you're feeling the world. You want to help the world in some way. Whatever that is, and that'll be different for everybody, but you're not really finding the right path. Like there may be something that comes along your path and you say yes to it, right? But it's not lighting you up yet. But that's okay, because your guides are saying that's all right. Just go ahead and say yes for now, because they know the divine path. And you're just taking one step at a time and listening to your heart. That's why it's really important for you to get quiet and not really to listen to external advice, especially external family advice, right? Kind of just listening to yourself, because your guides are really trying to help you on this journey. And, with the King of Pentacles, this means that it's going to help you become more grounded, but also there's going to be the abundance that you need in order to take whatever next step it is. So, for instance, say you've changed jobs, but and maybe you had to even move cities or something like that, and there's a lot of expenses, and you're kind of like, how am I going to pay for all of this, right? But you said yes to something that came across your path. Continue to say yes, and then maybe, a person. This King of Pentacles is a lot of times a person. So this could be a person, and a lot of times, it doesn't have to be, but a lot of times it's an older male. So it could be a father figure, grandfather, stepfather, a boss. Okay. Some, even your new boss that says, hey, you're doing a great job, we're going to give you more money, right? So it's something that somebody, because it's not like an Ace of Pentacles, it's somebody that's going to come onto your path to help you financially. And that's maybe one reason why it's important to say yes. Like when this person comes in and offers you something, not scam. Don't do anything like that. But, somebody that's going to help you financially to reach, part of your next part of the path. Okay, so into me I see. And it is so interesting. This is your obstacle. So you got the High Priestess card. You don't have your intuition going, and the Four of Cups with the Eight of Wands on the bottom. So you are going to get either some communication or some action in your life. But here you are. I cannot stress enough. You need to really quiet your mind. And, you know, if you've just started a new job or you just moved to a new city, you know, you may have like a lot of stuff going on in your life. It's even more important to really quiet your mind. And, you know, there's something to be said about, you know, just quieting your mind like for 1 minute several times throughout the day. You know, when I was going through something that was kind of emotional and everything, I actually set my timer on my phone, and I set it for, you know, like every hour on the hour, and I would just take that time and just sit and breathe for a minute. And it really is, it kind of like resets you. So, you know, think about doing something like that, because, you know, with your intuition in your obstacle path, it really is, and this keeps coming up, so it's not just in this position, about that you do need to quiet your mind, because everything you're seeing right now is the Four of Cups. You're not excited about anything, but you need to listen to your intuition, and then that thing that's going to excite you is going to come on your path. Okay, so now we have in your advice the power of purpose. I am truly feeling an Ace of Wands, so we'll see what happens here. The moon. Oh my goodness, that's and the Hanged Man on the bottom. Okay, this is definitely on your spiritual journey, but the moon indicates that there are things that are happening behind the scenes that you do not know about. Okay, that's your angels working for you too, your spirit guides. Oh my gosh, the moon twice, the moon clarifying the moon, the tower on the bottom. Okay, the tower in this case is not a bad tower. This is your epiphany. It's really kind of like, what's underneath that? The Two of Pentacles, the World, the Three of Cups. Yes, everything underneath is really good. So the tower can represent an epiphany about your power of purpose. It's kind of like you're doing your job. You're looking at your house. You're trying to see how it reflects on you. You may be making some changes because of what you noticed there, right? But the moon really indicates that there are things that you can't see that are playing out behind the scenes. And there's two of them here, okay? The other thing is that we have a new moon, I think June 10th, and then we would have the next full moon around like the 25th of June, okay? I think you're going to have this epiphany perhaps at the new moon, because that's where we start new things, right? Like you're going to get this epiphany about what your next step in life is, and how this goes to your purpose. Really interesting. And then the other thing that you need to know is that, you know, with the moon, it's kind of like spend time looking at the moon. They're telling me that. So I don't know if that's possible where you live, if you can see the moon clearly. You know, if you're in a big city, it's sometimes hard to see the moon. But try to take a look at the moon every night, and try to do it by yourself, because it'll give you that opportunity to go into your intuition. Yeah, really interesting energy there. Okay. No, this one. Okay. They want me to pull Sacred Traveler Oracle card. Yeah, there's something that's coming on your path, and it's going to come suddenly. Like that's why I kind of think it might even be before the new moon. Something suddenly. Gates of triumph. Success expands in your life. Yeah, there's something exciting brewing for you. Something really exciting. And I have a feeling, voyage of the heart, love flows through you and to you. I really feel like this is you coming into alignment with your purpose. And I'm being drawn back to this King of Pentacles. I think the King of Pentacles has something to do with this. And once again, I don't think the King of Pentacles is a love interest. I think this is somebody that's going to financially help you in some way. It could even be an inheritance, that type of thing. That's usually more like a Ace of Pentacles for me. But it could be, you know, like a grandfather or something that left you money. The King of Pentacles is usually a male energy, but it doesn't have to be, you know. Okay, roots of abundance, or a boss. You know, it could be a boss. Roots of abundance. Oh my gosh. Like Virgo, I'm so excited for you. Okay, so you have the roots of abundance clarified by the world. You are stepping into money. Virgo, I'm so excited for you. Yeah, you're stepping into a new world full of purpose and abundance. And really, you know, abundance is just joy too. It does not have to be stacks of money, right? It is going to bring you the financial stability you need so that you can live the life of joy that you really want to. And also, you know, have a job that you really love or a career that you really love. For some of you, you may be thinking about starting your own business, you know, really exciting. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune dropped out in the reverse. Really interesting. Okay. They are really jumpy. I'm going to shuffle them one more time. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So that means, you know, it's kind of interesting. You're stepping into a new world. You're breaking a pattern. Wow. Virgo. You're breaking a family pattern. 8 of Cups. You're walking away. It took me a minute to get here. I'll have to admit, my guys were helping me, but it took me a minute. I was just so excited about your abundance. By taking a look at these family patterns, and perhaps some of the fears or self-doubt that have been placed on you because, you know, your family members give us sometimes fears just because they're protecting us, because they love us. They don't do it because they don't love us. But by taking a look at your family patterns, and once again, start with your house, and making some change, like recognizing, I don't know. Let's take the food. We keep coming back to the food. Perhaps, you know, in your family when you were growing up, your mother or father did not cook dinner every night, right? And maybe, you know, there weren't a lot of groceries. You know, they just didn't like to cook. Maybe, you know, you grew up in a family where you did drive through fast food a lot. And so you kind of like have picked up that habit. Once again, it wasn't, you know, they didn't do it out of neglect or abuse, and you are not continuing it because of that. But it's kind of like a habit. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, I get that. I recognize that. That is just a habit from my childhood. And I'm breaking that pattern. So with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, you're breaking some pattern from your family upbringing or even your family ties now, right? And it doesn't mean that you're leaving somebody behind. You're leaving some belief or pattern that was just part of your childhood upbringing that you can see reflected in your own house. So one thing you might want to do is, like, you know, if your parents' house, it has, you know, the messy kitchen and yours does too, it's like, okay, that's the pattern I'm going to break, right? But by breaking that pattern, look at this. You step into a new world. You're walking away from something that's holding you back. And once again, I mean, we have the Six of Swords. Both of these are walking away. And I don't think this is really walking away from a person or anything in particular. I think this is a walking away from either a belief system, a habit, a pattern that comes from childhood. And you're stepping into your own world. And for some of you, you know, it does not matter what your age is. For some of you, if you're younger, you're like really stepping into like your adulthood. And if you're older, you're just like breaking some pattern that maybe you had since childhood or early adulthood. You're breaking that pattern and it's like, wow, I have a new life that's starting. And it's really going to bring you into alignment with your true purpose. And I really do think, I mean, not to harper on the kitchen thing, but for some of you, if this is the first time you've really gotten into, having a well-maintained, well-stocked kitchen, pots and pans that, kind of match maybe or whatever it is, you might go down a new avenue about helping other people eat nutritiously, or, how to shop for food on a budget, or how to feed the world. Or you may become a cook or a chef and teach people how to eat healthy and cook, decent meals, but maybe not with like a lot of sauces or something, but they're still really tasty and yummy. Okay, so really interesting. Okay, so now let's go to the Creativity Oracle. I love these cards. Let's see. I don't think I've ever seen this one. I cannot believe the message either. Details. Examine your situation and take care of every detail, one step at a time. Yeah, look at your house with detail. Look at it overall, and then look at each room in detail. And there's a message there for you. There really and truly is. And then one step at a time. Yeah, it's not like, this is like a journey. She's in the boat. There's no land nearby. She's going to be in the boat for a while, right? So it's kind of like, this is not like a quick fix type thing, And I don't think you're really fixing something. I think you're coming more into alignment with who you are. I think you may have dumped a lot of stuff, left people behind, jobs, whatever, previous to this past energy. Like, this is you kind of cleaning it up. It's kind of like cleaning house, right? Like, I think you've done the hard work. Now what you're doing is coming into alignment with your soul's purpose. Really nice. Okay. All right. They have two. So we'll start with this one. Look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. Look at that. Wow. I really get a sense that this isn't a person. I think this is your inner child, because both of these are talking about child, right? Your inner child. And I think, when it says, look deep within your heart and you will feel my love, this is your soul. This is your heart, your inner child speaking to you that, hey, we're on the right path. We're getting there, right? So beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, and here's your other one. Your soulmate. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will manifest physically. Okay, so for some of you, you have been, right, really trying to bring in your soulmate, wishing upon a star. And, by finishing out this little cycle, this journey, stepping into this new world, guess who's going to come on your path, right? You have a soulmate very much around the corner. Okay, and I'm going to do a final angel message to finish this out. And once again, Virgo, if you've enjoyed this reading, I'd really appreciate it if you would like, share, or subscribe. And I'd love to hear in your comments, what part of your house is where you're going to start working on? Okay, positive change. This reading has just been so beautiful. Dare to be different. When you are criticized, remember that you will never please everyone. Many brilliant and gifted individuals were not fully appreciated or understood in their own lifetime. Yet, it is often they who have sown the seeds of change. I'm getting goosebumps because I think that is part of your purpose. You may have some loving family members that are telling you, you can't go on this path or whatever it is, your ideas. They're just trying to keep you safe. right? It's like when you were a toddler and they were trying to teach you how to cross the street. They were like, you have to stay on the sidewalk. You know, you can't go into the street. They were really trying to save your life. And they were protecting you. And they're doing it even if you're an adult now. And it doesn't matter how old you are, right? But the truth is that by step, you are being called. Your soul is calling you, right? Your soul is speaking to you. Remember, you know, look deep within. And, you know, I'm here and I love you. By looking at that and then just saying, you know, they're just trying to protect me. I'm going to make a couple of changes in my life and I'm going to go in the direction of my own heart. And by doing that, you're sowing the seeds of change for the world. Like you have a vision of how to make the world a better place. And you are sowing those seeds. It's really lovely, Virgo. Such a beautiful, beautiful message. And I wish you lots of love and light in this situation and on this journey. And I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.